Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for a very special review on a very special figure from two very special people. That's Irene and Mark, who sent this along as a gift, and honestly it's gone to a good home. I love this movie. I was 8 years old when Pumpkinhead was released, and I remember seeing it at a friend's house. His dad rented it, and we were both about 8 or 9 years old at the time. Actually, I think when I was in Dublin visiting family, my cousin rented this out as well. I can't remember who I saw it with first, but I saw this about twice when I was a kid. Then later on, as I got older and started to really appreciate the kind of, you know, the effects that go into these films, and Stan Winston Studios, and, you know, the Alien Queen, the Terminator endoskeleton, the Predator, this guy Pumpkinhead, just really started to appreciate, you know, the movie monsters, and just wanted to learn more about how they were made and how it was shot and all that good stuff. And this is an incredible piece from Sota Toys, who are, you know, it's a company, unfortunately they're no longer around. It's about, well, they say 22 inches tall. I just measured it and it was 19 inches tall, just slightly over 19 inches, but definitely no bigger than that. But he's still an absolutely huge piece, and it's a very accurate looking sculpt. Now, when I suspected that maybe Irene and Mark might be sending something like this along, I started going crazy looking at YouTube reviews on this piece, and there are quite a few videos on YouTube of this figure, but nothing too recent, so nothing very HD. And you don't really see any height comparisons between this and the McFarlane small version, or just, you know, accuracy comparisons I should say, but height comparisons as far as this beside other quarter scale NECA figures, I will show you that, and maybe a couple of quarter scale Hot Toys figures just to give you an idea of how big he is. And we'll get a look at all the details. It's pretty good, man. I mean I'm going to try not to let my love for the creature in the movie you know, make it a gush fest. There are, I guess, some things to niggle about, but I'll get to that. But you got to bear in mind the figure came out in 2006 or possibly 9, 2006 or 2009. It's on the box over there. I'll go double check, but it's pretty old. But it's absolutely amazing. The sculpt is dead on, really impressive. And I've seen quite a few people do repaints on this. This figure has made me, you know, start watching YouTube videos on airbrushing. I want to learn how to airbrush, and I'm going to get myself a good airbrushing kit, and I might practice on some other things and then maybe attempt to repaint this myself. I was thinking about, you know, getting a professional to do it or whatever, but I've seen the repaints, which I'll interject some pictures of what's possible with this as far as repaints go in a moment, and you can see. But as you can see, it's you know, it's an amazing sculpt. It's just the paint app on the mass-produced product is not quite as detailed as it, you know, as it should be compared to what it looked like on set. Now I do have the Stan Winston the book here, the Winston Effect, thanks to Anthony Sang, who got me this as a gift. And Pumpkinhead is so important that he's actually one of the ones who's on the front here. So you got all the creations from Stan Winston and his team: the Alien Queen, the endoskeleton, the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, the original Predator, and Pumpkinhead. And so relevant enough to make it onto the front cover of this book, because we all know that he did a lot more than this, but these are the ones that made it onto the front cover because they're the most iconic and most recognizable. So there he is there. This is the movie starring Lance Henriksen, who's an awesome actor. And if you haven't seen this, man, honestly, just take my word for it, check it out. It's absolutely awesome for when it was made. It's 1988, and there's Lance Henriksen there. And let me just get this to focus, and you can have a little read. You can pause that, and there you go. Special features. It's a damn shame because I don't have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player that will play this. It's an American disc, so I just wanted it because I wanted the artwork, and I love the film. The artwork on this is awesome. Look at that. Really cool. Absolutely awesome film, man. I love this. It's such a classic, and it's directed by Stan Winston. Not just, you know, him behind the effects, but it's actually directed by him, and it's based on a poem. And you can reverse the cover as well. There's the original film poster. That's the one that McFarlane thing he used. And that's it there. And there's the what was her name again? I forget the name of the lady who well, I won't ruin it for you, but definitely check it out if you haven't done already. It's an absolutely awesome film. Pumpkinhead. Don't bother with the sequels, leave the sequels, leave them alone. Just watch this one and leave it. So here is a nice clear picture of Pumpkinhead in the Stan Winston Effect book, and you can get a good look at the kind of color that his skin was in the film. Now I've seen different pictures from, you know, behind the scenes, and sometimes it looks even lighter than this, almost like just a human kind of very pale skin, but with pink and purplish kind of almost like bruising. And it's interesting. It's going to be interesting when it comes for me to repaint it. You know, I'm gonna make sure I do a good job on this. Obviously I'm not going to mess anything up. I'm going to practice on other things first, but I am looking for a really cool project to do as far as airbrushing stuff goes, because then I can start to airbrush other things that I've got in the collection that need a little touch up here and there. But I mean, you can see the kind of just the color changes and stuff. But yeah, man, there's Pumpkinhead right there. So let's see what we're dealing with. Yeah, the actual mass-produced paint job is definitely not as detailed as you'd want it to be as far as movie accuracy goes. Like all the kind of pink, kind of veinish, all the veins, they're not really visible on the figure. You can't really even see them here, but maybe if I just where is it? There's some more Pumpkinhead stuff here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Right, let me just find you. There you go. That's a pretty good picture there. So yeah, I mean, he's very kind of just almost like pigskin. Pigskin, is that what he says? Is that it? Have we got any more pictures? Oh, there's a few more. Pumpkinhead. Yeah. Pumpkinhead gonna mess up your day. Pumpkinhead didn't come to play. Pumpkinhead's gonna take your ass. Pumpkinhead, he's got some class. Yeah. This picture here, you can see the color of the underneath of the head at the back is kind of like that weird purplish kind of. Oh, it's such a gross. It's a gross paint job, but yeah, it's just a bit different on the figure. So unfortunately, that doesn't carry over too well. But if you look at the paint job on the actual figure that they've got on the box, that paint job is insane. It's absolutely amazing. It's just for the mass-produced, the one everyone got. It's just not as detailed as it should be for the film. But you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Forget about it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it myself. I get me an airbrush, spray this up, get him looking right. Yeah. Get my pimp cane, top hat, drawers. Yeah. Don't you worry about a damn thing. PH. We gonna do this together. Look at that. The light bouncing off it. Rah, Pumpkinhead, motherfucker. What you gonna think about that? I'll snatch your ass from the back. Yeah, look at that. That's freaking cool. Now, he doesn't have any articulation in his legs, but he does have pretty intense swivel action going here. I mean, you can turn him all the way around. And the head kind of moves in its own way. It kind of turns like that, or like I just had it there, kind of tilting to the side. A bit of a Michael Myers thing happening there, but that's all good. And the arms move pretty good. I mean, I was able to change the pose quite drastically here. I mean, now he's really kind of just, he's quite straightforward. And he's got a pretty good balance as well. I saw in some of the early reviews that people were having a lot of trouble getting him to stand, but this one stands up really well. Just turn his head back up the right way. I mean, you can have him reaching out. It's really freaky, man. I mean, you can turn the hands, but then you're going to ruin the lines of the veins there. You see, you get the distortion, so I'll probably leave that like that, but look at that. Oh my goodness. He's so big, I can't even fit him all in the frame. Let me just back up off it. There you go. It's a hell of a piece, man. Such an amazing sculpt. It's about as movie accurate as it gets. I know there's a sideshow premium format, which is very rare these days, and if you do find it, apparently they're really expensive. But like I said, I've seen the repaints people have done on this, and some people, because he is quite light, he's quite surprisingly light really, but some people do fill the legs in with some kind of resin or something that they can kind of squirt into the legs, and they make them a lot more heavy at the bottom, which is a good idea. I'm not too sure if I'll be able to do that. I'd do it if I knew how or what they were using. But there's a lot more research to be done before I think about doing any customization on this. But I do intend to, like I say, repaint the whole thing, the teeth, the eyes. See, a lot of people just leave the eyes white, but there's a making of on YouTube. You can just type in Pumpkinhead Stan Winston. It'll come right up, and it's really detailed, you know, footage and photography, and just I mean, the eyes, there's a lot going on. I mean, it doesn't really look like it from far away, but I mean, on this figure they kind of just, they're just white, but when it comes time to repaint it, at least I know what I'm supposed to do. And once I get my technique down with the airbrushing, I'll be able to do this cool kind of paint fading into another color effect, which I've never been able to do before because I always use brushes. But once I'm got the airbrush thing going on, I'm gonna be able to do all kinds of cool shading and colors bleeding into each other, and it's just going to be really fun. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the results on this one in particular. I think I'm going to take it to another place. There's his Pumpkinhead junk. He does actually have junk. It's very small though. That's why he's so upset. No, maybe not. Don't want to insult the thing. But let's take a look at it at the back. It's a big figure, man. It's big. I mean, it's not that light. It's not like light as a feather. It's not like Hot Toys Iron Spider light. You know, it's you know, it's heavy enough. But I mean, as far as the paintwork there goes, there's not much going on. It's basically all just looks like one color, and there should be a lot more color going on there, but that's something I can look forward to fixing myself. But the sculpt, the actual sculpt there, that is really detailed. So you can just imagine once all the shading and the shadowing's happening. And there's ways to fill in this as well, get that all filled in, and then when the time comes to, you know, prime it and then paint it. I know I've seen all the videos, on the works that people have done on this piece, so I'm going in prepared. I know what to do and what not to do. I just need to practice on something else first with the airbrushes, because you can't just rush in with something like that. You need to practice and get comfortable with the new tools, and that'll be sweet, so I can listen to the new Tool album and practice with my new tools with Tool. Alright, so here is the 7-inch McFarlane Pumpkinhead figure. I've had this quite a while, and a lot of people do. You'll find more reviews on this than you will of this one on YouTube. I guess that makes sense because this one was more affordable and easier to display. Obviously this is a big figure. Because his tail sticks out at the back, and the tail doesn't seem to be bendable. Again, a lot of people say that it is, but if you try to bend that, I don't know, man, it doesn't feel like that's supposed to bend any place. So obviously it does jut out a fair bit behind him, so that kind of rules out things like having him displayed on a shelf like that. It's just not big enough, so I have to find somewhere good to put him. So I'll figure that out later. But anyway, very different looking pieces, completely different colors, but then again, you know, from completely different companies. So that is the thing there. The feet are quite different as well. These don't look as accurate to me as these bigger ones here. That's all good. And the fact that the arms couldn't bend at the elbow, so he's always got these really long straight down arms, or straight out. You can have him reaching out for you, or, you know, swiping, stuff like that, which looks really cool. And this one, the mouth is a little bit more closed, and I have done a video on this in the past. I didn't actually review it. I did do a showcase video with lots of photography and different lighting and backgrounds and stuff. Spent a lot of time on this figure's showcase video, so, you know, YouTube that, type in Pumpkinhead and Dean Knight 333, you'll come right up. But that's a good video, you should check that out. And yep, I'll do something special for this one too. Might wait until I get the repaint done and then take him out to the woods for a big showcase video, get him looking real freaky out in the forests. It's gonna look real nice. But anyway, as far as the head sculpt goes, I mean, this one's pretty good. It's not perfect though. I would say this is a hell of a lot more movie accurate. Sometimes I think he suffers from that kind of, you know, action figure thick tooth syndrome, if that makes any sense. My Cool Models werewolf over there beside Michael Myers, that is an amazing figure, but his fangs are very thick and chunky looking. And I have, you know, studied all the pictures of Pumpkinhead on this, you know, the movie and behind the scenes. And these teeth should be sharper looking and not quite as thick and chunky looking as they are. That is something I could probably fix. It's going to be a bit nerve-wracking, but I know I can do it. It's just a matter of, you know, doing it when the time's right, with the right tools, and be in the right frame of mind. But, you know, that's not a definite thing that I'm going to do that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to get him looking really good. I can, you know, I can just see it now. I think he's going to look amazing when the repaint's done. But anyway, yeah, really good. This one does have a bendable tail that you can actually bend around and manipulate. So the McFarlane figure is really good. And like I say, it doesn't take up that much space, so you can have that on your desk quite happily. This guy on the desk, maybe. I mean, he fits on this desk, but I don't know if I would want that to be a permanent thing. Anyway, there he is, man. Alright, now here he is with 3 NECA quarter scale figures. You've got Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, and Michael Myers from the 1978 classic Halloween, and the 1987 original Predator masked version. And he's very much in the darkness over there, but he looks pretty cool. So Pumpkinhead is basically the exact same height as Freddy, a little bit taller than the Predator. And yeah, that's the scale comparison for you. So they look nice together though. Look very nice together. Alright, so I found a cool spot for Pumpkinhead. It's right there as you come in the room. And got the Blu-ray there as well. Decided to put them next to the Predators. And there's a fair bit of Stan Winston stuff on this shelf. I could, you know, rearrange a few things. I don't know where to put these guys really. I don't have much of a Marvel collection. It's just really Deadpool and Spidey there, so I never really know where to put them. But and plus the game characters and, you know, stuff like this. Need to find a permanent place for them to be, but I was liking them up there, but you know, I might stick with the original idea of keeping it kind of 80s and 90s sci-fi action stuff. So obviously Stan Winston, that was not Stan Winston. I don't think he had anything to do with RoboCop, could be wrong, but I think that was different people. And obviously H.R. Giger was the man behind the original Aliens, so oh, I do need to get the quarter scale Alien Warrior. I've got the quarter scale Big Chap, but now that I sold the Hot Toys Alien Warrior, I do want to have some kind of representation of that creature, and I think the quarter scale NECA one is the way to go really, because, you know, there's no rotting rubber to worry about or any of that stuff, so I just don't want to have to worry about it, at least with these big NECA aliens and Predators. You know they're going to last. So, and they're really posable too, which is awesome. So there it is. There is Pumpkinhead, looking absolutely amazing, man. I'm so happy. You know, I mean, Irene's already said you don't have to say thank you a million times, but I can't help it, man. It's really, really nice when someone does something like this. And this really means a lot to me. You know, Pumpkinhead in particular is something that I just loved growing up. And I could just, yeah, man, to finally have this particular piece in the collection. I mean, look at it. It's perfect, man. It's just amazing. I absolutely freaking love it. And it's nice and satisfying and big, you know. It's a nice, big, chunky piece. Just had a comment come in warning me about the legs warping. So thank you for that comment, and I know what you mean. I mean, I've had, like I say, the Dog Soldiers figure by Sota Toys. His legs would always warp eventually, and I think it was because of the weight on top. Mind you, this is quite a light figure, but I would still be very careful as far as warping and stuff. So I'll be careful, keep an eye on that. And there's also a kind of seam here that you can see. And I wonder if over time the weight of the top of the figure would kind of make this more obvious and it would just start to pull apart, maybe. I mean, because that's what happened with the Sota Toys Werewolf, the Dog Soldiers one, which is down here. That's why when I bought my third and final one, because these go for quite a lot of money on eBay now. Back when I had two, they were just regular retail price, but now they've shot up to quite expensive. I mean, they're getting really hard to find now on eBay. There used to be always, you know, a couple of these on eBay, but that was back in like 2008, 2009. And now you don't find them so much. And the ones that I saw on eBay of this, they were going for quite a bit of money, man. So, you know, if you want one, I'd get one quicker rather than, you know, leaving it too late. Because, I don't know, companies in the future, maybe NECA would eventually get the rights to do something with Pumpkinhead. I mean, it'd be amazing if they did. But wow, at least we have this. I mean, the sculpt, like I said, it is absolutely dead on perfect. And even if you didn't repaint it, it still looks amazing. You know, I'm just obsessed about getting details right when it comes to like how the skin looks and all that stuff. And it doesn't need much. It just needs, well, I'm going to do the whole thing from scratch. I'm literally going to, you know, prime the whole thing and then get my airbrush skills up to scratch and then take, you know, just take my time and get it looking movie accurate. But it's an absolutely stunning figure. And he goes very nicely with the stuff on this shelf. So Irene and Mark, he's gone to a good home. I'll always cherish this. I'll always love it. And I'll always look at it every day when I come in here. My eyes are going to go to this thing. How could they not? You know, I'm always going to look at this thing and think, there it is. There is the thing that terrified the crap out of me when I was a kid. Pumpkinhead. So definitely check out the film if you haven't seen it, guys. It comes highly recommended by me. And you know I don't like crap. So check out Pumpkinhead. Just make sure you don't accidentally download part 2 or something like that. And just try and buy it, you know. But, you know, it's worth your money. Thanks for watching, guys, and a huge thank you again to Mark and Irene for such an amazing gift. Really means a lot to me, especially this particular figure, man. This really does mean a lot, so thank you to you too. And I hope you've enjoyed the review. That rhymes. And subscribe, hit the bell icon, try and leave a like on the video if you can. Helps more people find the video and discover it. And check me out on Instagram and Facebook at DeanKnight333, and you can click the link under the video and become a Patreon/producer if you want. I appreciate all you guys out there, and thank you so much for a great 11 years on YouTube so far. 11 years, man, that's crazy. It's flown by, and I've made so many great friends and had so many cool experiences, and in those 11 years I've collected so many cool figures and statues of all scales and companies and genres of movies. I mean, you know, the whole Michael Myers obsession, well, that was started by this movie right here, 2007, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Sorry, his hair is crazy because I just dropped him a minute ago, and his head fell off on a previous take. I was holding him like this and his head just went woo and just fell off. But here it is, man. I did a video on this recently, got a load of thumbs down. I assume those people were just eating jelly sandwiches, but I love it, man. I think this is absolutely awesome. This is about as good as it gets when it comes to a whoop, there it goes. It's alright. This carpet is so super squishy that you can actually drop head sculpts all day long and they will be absolutely fine. Getting old. There we go. Whee! See, doesn't matter. It's all squishy. Super squishy carpet. But his hair does start to get a little bit messed up. So yeah, did a video on him. And had fun. Took him out with me for a walk with Ruby. We took some pictures in the woods. I always like to show off my completely unique an incredible 2018 Michael Myers. I mean, look at that thing. Look at the mask. Look at the eyes inside. Again, I did that. That was all me. One night I was sitting there and I was thinking, do you know what would be cool? If his eyes were deep inside the mask. Just like you get on those Mad Bug sculpts. So I said, well, I think I can do it. It took me a while, but I did it. But I don't think you'll get better than this. I've seen all the, you know, pending, incredibly expensive, really high caliber people doing them, you know, like the big guys. I won't say names, but I've seen what's coming, and they all look amazing. But I ain't going to say that they're going to look better than this. I mean, I spent a lot of time researching the mask. I got the paint exact. I mean, the sculpt originally by, well, it's an original Legio 7 workshop sculpt. And so you got the head by Legio 7, Tanila's coveralls and knife, and the boots. I forget where I got those. And the body, which was the JT, what was it, the JX? Oh, I forget. You'd have to watch the review. I reviewed this and I've talked about what body it is so many times, but I actually cut his chest. I cut his chest, his man boobs. I cut them right off because he was a little bit too chunkified from the side profile before. Anyway, I've spent way too long talking about this guy, but how could you not? I mean, look at that. It don't get better than that. It really don't. Show me one that's better than this. I don't think you'll be able to do it. Oh my goodness. Huh? You know about that? Look at that. Again, it doesn't really get much better than that. That was painted by Mike in Germany. But, yes, Michael Myers. Absolutely friggin' love my Michael Myers stuff. You go ahead and check out the collection. It's all here on the channel. Everything's been reviewed, talked about to death. But I'm going to do it all over again October 1st. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. Alright, that's it. Pumpkinhead has definitely gone to a good home, and he will always be cherished and respected and treated, well, as I would expect to be treated, because you don't want to mess around with Pumpkinhead, man. Seriously, if you see the film, he's not to be messed with. Pumpkinhead is a beast. That's it. I'm out. God bless you. Hold you close to my bosom. And I'll see you real soon. You go ahead and soak up all this goodness. You soak that right up. Like a sponge. Oh, there's Mikey. That's the big guy. It's Big Mikey. Yep. Alright, that's it. Alright, see you soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.